cry for me. I'm not gone. My soul is at rest. My heart lives on. Light a candle for me to see and hold on to my memory. But save your tears, for I'm still here by your side through the years. And that's by Christy Ann Martin. Hello and welcome to Cryptoflifetales, Missing Persons. Today we are talking about the disappearances of Enrique Rios and Elijah Moore. Enrique Rios and Elijah Moore were friends. Both Enrique and Elijah attended Cesar Chavez Community School. This school is located in Woodland, California. They attended classes in the morning and worked for the Northern California Construction Training Program at the Yolo County Fairgrounds in the afternoon, earning money while learning carpentry skills. The night of Enrique's disappearance, he snuck out of his home to go over a friend's home. Enrique's mother that morning of October 16, 2016, thought that he had already went to school, but the 16-year-old never made it there. She later received a troubling text message from his phone. He texts, "I need some time. I can't handle all of this." His mother replies, "What is all of this?" Enrique reportedly texts back, "There's too much pressure on me." 2 days later, his mother reported him missing. According to his mother, Lola Rios Gutierrez, Enrico never picked up his last paycheck and didn't take any clothes from home. Now, cameras at the Yolo County bus showed that Enrique wasn't on the bus the night of October 16 to 17, and Esparto, an isolated farm community where Enrique family, where they lived, that Enrique would have needed a vehicle to get out of. That's a really small town, and he didn't own a car, but he knew people who did. So he left behind his warm clothing, his California state identification card, and his last paycheck, as well as other belongings. His family stated he was happy with his life, adored his younger sister, and had no reason to run away from home for any extended time period. They stated he did use marijuana occasionally, but no hard drugs. Enrique was last seen October 17, 2016. Now, originally, police handled Enrique's disappearance as a runaway case. This was because they found no information or evidence pointing to foul play. When cases show no signs of foul play, police tend to initially treat them as voluntary disappearances. Now, at first, the local cops, like I said, believed that he had ran away, but 2 weeks later, investigators saw that something else was going on because another teen had been reported missing. The other teen that was reported missing was Enrique's friend, Elijah Moore. Now, Elijah Moore was the youngest of 4 children. He had just turned 17 on November 3rd of 2016, the day before he vanished. Alicia Moore, Elijah's mom, said her son was a mama's boy who played video games, loved ice cream, and brought stray animals home. Elijah was reported missing in Woodland, California by his mother on Monday, November 6th of 2016. Elijah was last seen on Friday, November 4th of 2016. He attended school and later cashed a check at California Check Cashing. At the check cashing location, surveillance video shows Elijah walking up to the counter to cash his paycheck. He briefly speaks to the cashier, then puts the empty envelope away and walks out. He hadn't been seen since. And Alicia, his mom, said prior to him going to the check cashing place, he had contacted her and he was telling her, "Mom, I'll be home in a little bit. I'm just going to cash my check." But he never made it home. Now, on the day of his disappearance, Elijah was last seen wearing a black hooded sweatshirt, a yellow shirt, khaki pants, and tan work boots. He also carried a green backpack. Now, Alicia received a text, and it was from Elijah's phone, but the message said, "I'm in the Bay Area with a girl." they have family in the Bay Area, and it would be highly unlikely for Elijah to go to the Bay Area without contacting any of their family there or even letting her know. Now, Enrique's mother Lola and Elijah's mother Alicia both received suspicious texts from their sons explaining why they weren't coming home. Now, Alicia thinks that someone lured Enrique and her son under false pretense. Now, although Enrique and Elijah have not yet been found, 4 people were arrested on suspicion of their murder, conspiracy, and kidnapping. Prosecutors say David Frost, who's in prison for domestic violence and drug manufacturing, as well as Shandell Shannon, kidnapped Elijah Moore and Enrique Rios and killed them with help from Jesus Campos and Frost's brother Jonathan. Now, Jesus, as well as Shandell, gave stories about the murders. Now, this is their version of what happened. They said that they rode around, all 4 suspects, the Frost brothers, Jesus, Shandell, both rode around looking for Elijah because they stated that Elijah had held them at gunpoint and stolen $300 worth of marijuana from David. So David had wanted to find Elijah because he was very upset and wanted to get revenge. So, according to Jesus and Shandell, all 4 were riding around looking for Elijah, and they couldn't find Elijah. So they came up with the plan to contact Enrique because they knew that Enrique was friends with Elijah. So they contacted Enrique via Facebook. So Shandell, Jesus, and David all came to pick up Enrique from his friend's house in a green Honda. Now, they turned off their location tracker feature on their phones when they picked Enrique up. But Enrique's friend had saw him get into this green Honda, and that's what he later reports to police. He didn't know who was in the Honda, but he knew that his friend had gotten into this green Honda after being contacted by them. Now, they stopped at a spot along the Sacramento River called Knight's Landing. And there in Knight's Landing, there's a little place called Second Beach. So David exited the vehicle and shot his gun in the air and basically told Enrique to get out. They tried to get Enrique to lure Elijah because that's who they claimed they really wanted to get to was Elijah because of the alleged robbery. However, Enrique didn't go for it. He was not going to lure his friend. He was like, nope, I'm not doing it. So he offered to pay what they said Elijah owed. He's like, well, okay, well, I will pay you $300. So I guess that wasn't good enough to David, who supposedly was the mastermind of the whole plan. So David ordered Enrique to go down to the river and take his clothes off. So this is where he allegedly shot Enrique. Now, according to Shandell, when David was reloading his gun, I guess he had let out all his bullets, and he was reloading his gun, Enrique told him just to go ahead and end it. I guess he was still alive at that time when he was reloading. So ultimately, they killed Enrique. So after they killed Enrique, the 3, Shandell, David, and Jesus, all went out to eat at Denny's. Now, David then borrowed a truck from his neighbor, and according to the neighbor, David asked to borrow his truck in the middle of the night. Now, he told his neighbor that he needed his truck because his brother Jonathan, his car was stuck somewhere and they needed to pull it out. So David returned the car the same night, But 2 days later, he returned to the neighbor and asked to get the truck again because he needed to clean the truck out. Now, there's not much said on, if the neighbor noticed anything. Not sure, but it was just, according to Chandel, David came back 2 days later to clean out the truck. So, fast forward 2 weeks later. This trio is driving around. This time, both brothers are there. Jonathan is along with David, Chandel, and Jesus. So they're all riding around. And they see Elijah coming from the check cashing place. And that's where, and prior to this story that Chandel and Jesus is telling, investigators keep getting calls from people saying their names, saying, Chandel, Jesus, the Frost brothers. They were saying that they had something to do with the disappearances. So investigators were already tracking the Frost brothers. So when they had traced their pings of their phones back to, they could trace that the Frost brothers were close by the check cashing store when Elijah disappeared. So according to Jesus, David, Jonathan Frost all saw Enrique walking. David got out of the car and threatened Elijah with a pair of scissors. Now, this story, especially Enrique's mom, Lola, said she does not believe this story, as well as Alicia and Elijah's mom, because they said that Elijah was really tall, 200 plus pounds, and so they really doubt that David would be able to lure him or threaten him with a pair of scissors. So, according to Jesus, David got out the car, like I said. And anyway, he threatened Elijah with the scissors and made him take off his clothes and get in the trunk of the car. And that was weird to me too, because they're on the street. So no one saw Elijah taking off his clothes and getting into the trunk of a car. I mean, you think that would be like really weird for anyone to see. So after they put Elijah in the trunk, they said that they took Elijah to an area in Knight's Landing called the Cuts. Now, the Frost brothers are from Knight's Landing, and I'm not sure if Jesus or Chandel is. I think they are. But so they're very familiar with the area, and so this area called the Cuts is very secluded, and not many people go around that area. So that's where they hit Elijah over the head with a tree branch and shot him. Now, according to Chandel, both Enrique and Elijah was burned and placed in 3-foot graves. Jesus offered to take the police to the bodies, but was unable to find them. And again, Enrique's mom, Lola, questions if that's the truth. She thinks that maybe he got scared, or maybe he realized that they wouldn't be able to lie their way out of it. And so, especially if you show a body, that proves that you have knowledge. So David Frost was eventually arrested for unrelated charges in January of 2017. And so police have been monitoring his communication when he was in jail. And there was a time when his brother came, Jonathan, and they heard him telling Jonathan that to make sure that Chandel and Jesus don't talk about the crime. Lola, Enrique's mom, she did an interview with the Vanish podcast, and I will leave that link in the description box at the bottom of the video. She said on the interview that she didn't believe, again, what Jesus and Chandel accounts was regarding the deaths of Enrique and Elijah. She believes it's far-fetched that they would commit double homicide over $300. It makes no sense. And I totally agree. Like, are these guys that evil that they would go through kidnapping, murdering, and desecrating Enrique and Elijah corpse for $300 measly? David Frost has been pointed out as the leader of these crimes. And this guy has to be some kind of sociopath, someone who doesn't have a conscience or regards for human life, that he would actually go through planning and executing such a senseless murder over $300, especially when Enrique was offering the $300 to you. You think he would have been like, but it made no sense to me to even go that far to kidnap Enrique. You think he would have just threatened Elijah and said, hey, you better give me my money, or, when they were going around searching for him or whatever, or when they found Enrique, when they contacted Enrique on Facebook, you think they would have just said, find your friend and tell him we need our money, or, we're going to beat him up or something, make some threats. That's what I'm trying to say, before actually going through with planning a murder. Especially, isn't the ultimate goal is to get the $300, or was the ultimate goal just to kill someone? So it makes me think, is David Frost that psychopathic that he would just want to murder someone and just found something really stupid or made up a lie to do so? And what about his brother and these other two, Shandell and Jesus? Although Shandell and Jesus like to downplay their roles, that they were forced into doing this, committing the crime, being there. They claim that they didn't actually commit it. But if you're guilty, if you're there and you see it and you don't contact the police and you don't do anything to stop it, then you're just as guilty as the person who did it. So, but you would think that they would have been like, I don't want any parts of this. Like, this is not worth it. It just makes no sense that these idiots would plan 2 murders and know that there's a possibility that eventually you're going to get caught and you're going to go to jail or prison for a very long time. And it was said, or rumors were, that they were speaking, especially Shandell and Jesus, that they were going around bragging and telling people about it. I don't know how true that is. Allegedly, that's what is said. Because Lola, in the interview with the Vanish podcast, she said that she had received prior to Shandell and Jesus telling their stories, or even getting caught by the police, that she had received a call from an anonymous woman, and she had called from a payphone, and she stated those 4 names, that they had something to do with the disappearances of the boys. So, obviously they were going around telling people. So I just don't understand. So anyway, in November of 2018, jurors convicted 28-year-old David Frost of kidnapping, as well as special circumstances of multiple murders and kidnapping with the intent to commit murder, both of which carry a mandatory sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole. And that's definitely what he needs, to commit such a senseless crime for no reason. He doesn't need to be in society anymore. That's my opinion. Well, there could be as many as 2 more trials in this case, because Shannon, 21, has been found mentally incompetent to stand trial and is due back in court December 11th, and that was of 2018, for further proceedings on that issue. And Jesus Campos, 18 at the time, who was a minor he was a minor at the time of the alleged crimes, is expected to undergo a juvenile court hearing in January to determine whether he should be tried as an adult. Now, I don't see anything as of yet of their trials, so it looks like they haven't went to court as of yet regarding their fates. But I hope that that justice is served with them as well. Now, it is still a missing persons case, Woodland Police Chief Luis Soler says. Now, the Enrique and Elijah bodies have never been found, despite nearly 24 searches of the isolated area east of Knight's Landing, where their remains reportedly were hidden. If anyone has any info regarding the location of Enrique and Elijah remains, I will leave the info in the description box, as well as Enrique's mom, Lola, GoFundMe to assist her financially while she battles breast cancer. And that's so sad that she truly believes that the breast cancer was brought on through the tremendous stress that she endured. Now, Lola, Enrique's mom, truly believes that her breast cancer was brought on due to the tremendous stress she has endured through this whole ordeal with Enrique's disappearance, as well as finding out what happened that led to her son's death. Now, if you can do anything to donate to her, then I will leave that GoFundMe link in the description box as well. This poor lady needs a lot of help. That's depending on just what she's going through. And our heart goes out to Elijah's mom as well. The tremendous stress and everything that they've had to endure due to the senseless murders of these two innocent young men. They are definitely in my prayers, as well as friends of Enrique and Elijah. I pray that they are able to, Lola and Alicia are able to put their son's remains to rest really soon. And thank you so much for watching.